Hi everyone.
Hi ma'am, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
We're fine ma'am, how are you ma'am?
I'm great. Okay, so again, because now our classes are going to be a little bit lengthy, that's why I'm not going to take doubts. Write down all your doubts whenever you have them. Okay? If the doubt is very small, like छोटा सा कोई doubt है, then it's fine. Asking in between the class. But I would prefer that now you write it down, whatever doubts that you have, and you collect those doubts for the doubt session, because the doubt session is going to be a 1 hour long doubt session. So any doubt that you have, you can actually clear them out in the doubt session. All right. Because like you are getting the recordings as well, and you have to practice also. I've given enough time in between the classes and the doubt session so that you can practice, and whatever doubt that you have, you can collect them and you can come up in the doubt session. Am I right? Like, is it clear to everyone?
Yes ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So I have sent you some like references of images for the croquis. All right. You can like download any croquis from them. Okay, I have like I'll choose this one. All right. And with this reference, I'm going to teach you how you can create your own croquis without copying them, or like any measure that. And for this, you have to practice a lot. Okay. Again, digital may you can easily copy them or trace them, but I am teaching you the difficult method of doing it, so that easier method you can do it yourself. But I will be teaching you difficult method later on. It's totally up to you which method you prefer and which method you want to like include in your work. All right.
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, I think this one which you're using now, you didn't send it to us in the group.
Okay, just let me send it.
Okay. Thank you ma'am. Got it ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So now how we are going to create the stick figures. All right. What exactly is stick figure? I'm going to teach you stick figure from 2-3 poses so that you can easily draw it yourself. All right. For stick figure, what I'm going to do, I'll take some height references. Okay. And even if you don't want to take any height references, that's totally fine. Okay. Now this is the image. See how the curve is going. I'm going to all right. Imagine the curve. What curve this image is showing you? It's straight here and it's almost straight down here also. Okay. Like this. All right. What are the shoulder positions? Shoulder positions are straight. Waist position is a little bit tilted. See, like this. Right? Hip
Yes
is almost straight. Legs are kind of straight. In this, we are going to do it from something that is like, walking pose or something like that. Again, hands are also straight. All right. And then the head part. Okay, this is what your stick figure looks like. Anything that you're going to draw, it is going to be in a form of stick figure. And this is drawn from the image. Now I'll take an image in reference. Okay, not drawing it by like outlining or something. I'm going to draw it from the reference. Now see how the image is. See how the face is. I draw a face, okay? And then the neck. See, the shoulders are a little bit tilted. Not too much, but a little bit tilted. Okay? Like for a reference, see how the curve is going. Like it's starting from here and then like this is the curve. Now see, the shoulders are a little bit tilted. Now the bust. We have to divide the body parts into few forms. All right. Now see shoulder to waist. Okay. The waist is straight like this. Now see the hip. Hip is tilted. And it's just like this. The hip is like this. And it's a little bit tilted. Like this. Right? I'm just drawing the stick figures. You have to draw stick figures. I've sent you multiple croquis because I want you to draw the stick figures. All right. And then the center for legs. Now see how the leg is going. It's like this, right? And then the leg is like this. And the foot. All right. Now see the other leg. It is going in this way. And then the feet. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is the stick figure. Now see the hand position. Got it? Okay. This is how you can create a like figure like this. All right. Now again, because whenever we are drawing the human figures, usme the issue is that your body should look like human. But as we are learning fashion illustrations, in fashion illustrations, the head can be bigger or smaller. The body can be like the top part can be smaller, legs can be longer. All right. So I'm going to teach you in a way that you can create the human figure also. And this is how you can create the fashion figures also. Okay. Up. Let me just roughly draw. I'm using Procreate pencil brush. Okay. I'm going to roughly draw a proper figure around it. Okay. We're going to choose a different figure for the actual skin rendering because I want it to look perfect so that you guys can like make it like that too. Okay. But for this, I'm going to like show you how you can draw without actually copying or tracing any figure. Okay. First, you have made the stick figure. Let's see. Follow these like measurements. उसमें जरूरी नहीं है that you need to know everything. But again, see how the neckline is. Okay, see the bust. Where is the bust? It's going a bit tilted like this. See how the waist is going. थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर होगा, that's totally fine because in fashion illustrations the proportion should be correct and everything else you can change or correct later on. Okay, the waist. Now see the hip. Once you have made the stick figure, na, it's very easy to create the actual figure. Okay, Now see, I'm going to draw the crotch point so that just creating one more guideline for them. Understood? Now I'm going to follow this leg. Keep this line in middle so that you are creating everything in a correct way. You can see the shape of leg here. The other leg. It's going to be behind it, but initially try to make the whole leg so that uski jo proper shape hai that comes out whenever you're drawing it. ठीक है? Now थोड़ा बहुत इधर उधर हो जाता है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, but again it is fine. All right. Now I'm going to the other leg also. Everything should not be like, perfect. All right. Initially, you just need to draw the outer figure so that you can draw it. I'm drawing a very rough sketch. Okay, now you can see like the hip is a bit wider. It's totally fine because it's fashion illustration. In fashion illustration, you can create your own imagination and it's totally fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your proportion should be correct. Everything else you can improve. Saath saath. All right. Got it? If something is not like seen right, like this is a bit thin, this is a lot thicker, you can always correct it. Because again, it's a rough sketch. It's not final. Okay, I made it into a little plus size kind of figure, but this is how you can create multiple. Initially, just try to create the stick figure. That's all. Okay, show me the stick figures, and then I'll see how the stick figures, and then try to convert those stick figures into real figures. Okay, take reference from any image, any pose that you have. I have provided you a lot of poses. You can try and practice from them. Okay, this is a step-wise thing. Okay, you're doing something in steps and try to do it in steps because if you don't, then it's going to be like all mushy. All right. All right. And now for the skin rendering, I'm going to like keep this as a reference. And this is also a step you can choose. All right. Now I'm going to take this reference for a stick figure. or just to make it a bit easier for me, let me just take an outline
Ma'am,
out.
you're using syrup brush only, right?
No, I'm using sketching brush. It's Procreate
Okay.
pencil. For the sketching part, use sketching brush. For the final
Oh,
outline, use inking brush. And also for the filling, you can use inking brush, all right? The reason I am tracing it, because I'm going to work on skin rendering. And for skin rendering, the figure needs to be perfect. Because to create a perfect figure without any like reference or without any with stick figure only, it's going to take some time. And again, because skin rendering is going to take some time, I'm doing it in front of you. I'm showing you real thing that yes, sometimes when I don't have time, I do trace it. But that doesn't mean that you need to skip the basics and only trace the outline. Because somehow I know how to create the poses without even knowing it. Okay. And I know if I have to draw it without any reference or without tracing, how it is going to turn out. The reason is because I work on handmade illustrations also, and there obviously you can't trace. In handmade, everything is going to be like hand drawn. You can't trace things there. So that is why I have practiced, and I am showing you the same thing from my perspective in this kind of illustrations also. All right. So I'm going to teach you a full body rendering instead of like, creating a undergarments over it. I'm going to teach you a whole thing, how to render the bust and everything. Hope. So to practice the croquis making, do it from the like that technique. Okay, I'm forgetting words. The stick figure technique. For skin rendering, to practice skin rendering, you can trace the any croquis. You can practice skin rendering on that. Again, there are many people who keep outline on body. I don't do it because I like to make it realistic. That's why I don't give black outline on the croquis and keep them as realistic as possible. All right. This is the croquis we have. I have already given you the uh, skin tones also in the croquis, the rendered croquis that I have shared with you. I have sent you the color palette also. Okay. Okay. So for filling the color, I'm going to use this shade and I will add a new layer below it. All right. I'm using inking Baskerville. And I'm going to color the, you can also like reduce the opacity. ठीक है, face coloring we are not going to do today, only the body rendering, because face we are going to do tomorrow. I have shared two croquis that are already rendered. All right, there is a color palette given there. Okay, this is the color palette, and you have to choose this color palette. All right.
Yes.
Am I visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am.
Darshini, please check your internet. First, I'm just filling in the inside of skin tone. Okay, the base. All right. So the base is done. Okay. Either you can alpha lock the base and do the coloring over it, or you can use the clipping mask and add shadings. So I'm not going to add like too much color to it. Okay. But again, like I have to show you. So that's why I'm leaving the face and I'm taking this second color. All right. And using airbrush. Okay. Not using the other. And try to replicate the shadows. Okay. See where the shadows are and try and replicate it. It's like third shade. This is the highlighter shade. This is the skin base shade. This is the shadow shade. These are all the shadow shades. All right. Try and replicate the shadows. Okay. Now there are a lot of medium airbrush. Okay. Always remember for shading, you have to use medium airbrush. No other brush you need. Okay. You have to keep these things on your fingertips. That which inking like brush you have to use for the outline, which brush you have to use for the shading. All right. Keep these things on your fingertips. Okay. Let me just show you. Like right now, I don't have any reference for that, but I'm going to show it to you. Wait. Okay, for shading, I'm showing you from the like for the bust part. All right. How this is. The below part of the bust will have shadows. Be very precise. Don't overdo it. And do it in rounded motion. Don't add too much color. Add it in rounded motion like this. The reason it's looking very pink because you are putting a lot of pressure on the color. You have to do it like this. Like this. The color will come out really good if you use the color in a very like precise way. Don't over pressure your pencil. Give time to your illustration, but don't over pressure it. You have to control the pressure on the pencil. Or one day you are going to break your pencil, I'm telling you. If you add too much pressure on your pencils, na, it's going to break very soon. It won't stay for long. All right.
Ma'am, will the pencil break or will the tip break?
Can you repeat again what you're saying?
Ma'am, the pencil itself breaks or only tip breaks? The tip.
The tip part. But again, like you have to buy the new tip, na. So don't like.
No, ma'am, I'm just asking. It's my.
Yeah.
I had a doubt that pencil may also break. Will it break, ma'am? Pencil?
See, it depends on like if you throw it or somewhere. Like sometimes the mechanics of the pencil can
Okay.
be like disturbed, so that's why it can happen. But again, like when you're working with it, like the tip is going to break again. So like it's pencil only. The tip is also pencil. So all right. See, the reason I'm adding shadows this way, the reason there are shadows like this, because our body is a bit rounded. All right. It is not flat. So wherever there are like bumps or anything that is stick, like the part that is here, why we have shadows here? Because this part is very like like stick to the bone structure. Okay, it is not fuller, this part. The bust are fuller, that's why they are creating shadows here. But again, it is turning the way we did sphere yesterday. It is turning inside. Okay, it's a rounded portion that is above the body structure, so that is going to create shadows whenever it's going to touch the below skin structure. This part is also stuck to the body. Okay, that is why it will have some highlights. Then again, this part, the bust is like creating shadows underneath this. Okay, it is creating anything that you put, even if like I have a hand like this, if I put my hand here, it is going to create shadows underneath. Anyone, please don't send me messages like personally on the chat, because I won't be able to see it. Okay, my phone is on my tripod. All right, so that is why please don't message me personally. All right, I'm like looking at the comments through my laptop. All right, in blending the color in circular motion, that you have to practice, dear. This is how you might be doing it like this. You don't have to do it like this. You have to do it like this in rounded motion, but just a smaller way, like this. This is how you have to add color, not like this. All right. Keep this in mind. This is the practice that you have to do. Okay. These are the exercises that you have to do when you want to work in it. All right. This is not something that you will learn overnight. I'm telling you. I always say this thing in my class, that if you think that taking a 6 or 7 days class like is enough to like learn all these things, it's not. It's your practice. Whatever I'm teaching you, it's just 30%. I'm just giving you knowledge. Art is just like mathematics. When the teacher is doing it on board, you will find it easier, but when you practice, you will find it very difficult. The reason is because you haven't practiced from your own hands. All right. Now I'm going to follow this part. Okay, see where the shadows are. this part of the body, it has a bit depth, all right? This part of the stomach is a bit elevated. That's why it creates a little bit shadows here. All right, see here. And below this part, I'm going to add some shadows. It's not even close to like what we have to do right now. From the upper part, this is where we're going to add shadows. Because as I said, this part is stick to your body. Okay, it is a part of like, it is stick to your body structure, like the bone structure that you have. So it is going to be a bit shadowy here. If you want to create some abs, you can. Okay, one part of shadow is done. Now I'm going to use a darker color. Okay, I'm doing half body at once so that you're able to see the results very quickly. All right. Now I will keep the brush size very small. Because these are darker shadows. I won't add it everywhere, but wherever I have to give like a lot of dimension, I'm going to add it there. Again, in rounded motion.
And what's the size you're keeping, ma'am?
Can you repeat again?
What's the size, ma'am? I mean, size. What you keeping the size?
Size of brush.
Yeah, yeah.
See, here you can see like it's 4%.
Okay.
Okay, size of like it's not exactly like 4% or 5%. It is like on a smaller size. Okay, even if you're using a bigger size of brush, if you're using it in a rounded motion and don't put too much pressure, it is going to create a very light shadows. Okay, don't give too much pressure. Again, watch the videos later on. Practice as much as you can. Okay, because even after the classes, you'll take like if you practice daily, if you give at least 30 minutes to 1 hour daily, you're going to take 1 month to create the illustrations as well. And honestly, if someone comes to you and tell you like I'm going to teach you and you will be going like you're going to make the like very realistic illustrations in just these many days, you can't. Nobody can promise you that. It's totally up to your. Every student has their own speed. Every student has their own talent. Okay, some of you might know Procreate even before taking the classes. Some of you are very like new to it. So it is going to take time. Now see, there is a hand over this part of the body. So we're going to add some deeper shadows here. This part will be a lot darker. Okay, but I'm going to blend it a little. Again, put shadows and highlights on different layers, all right? Don't put them on same layer because you're going to blend shadows all together and highlights will be on different layer, all right? Blend the harsh lines. Okay. Now, just adding this a bit orange shade because like, it looks too pinkish. So I'm adding just a little tint of it, not too much. So that it is close to it. Very little amount. Don't add too much. Okay, if you add too much, just blend it out. Okay, I'm going to blend out the extra. Okay. Now it is time for highlights. Highlights is one of my favorite part of this, okay? Because without highlights, it is going to look very bland. All right, now how to add highlights. First, I'm going to add highlights on the first part. Don't use too much lighter, like don't use too much, too bigger brush, just okay, sorry, I didn't change the layer. For highlights, you have to use different layer. To get these part of the bust, we're going to add shadows, oh sorry, highlights. The center part is going to have highlights. So I'm not adding too much. If I add too much, I'm going to blend it. Okay, now I feel that it's looking too harsh. So I'm just going to blend it. And it's possibly because of shadows. So I'm just going to blend the shadows a little bit so that those are not too harsh. Okay, understood till here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm going to add some more deeper shadow from the last darkest color that we have now, just to add more dimension. Okay, because these places are going to be a lot darker. Choose the shadow part, not the highlight. Okay. Again, the color is very dark, but the way I'm using it, not pushing the pencil too much. Okay, it is creating very light tone to it. See how many times I have to keep redoing it until I get the result. See, now just going to add some dimension to it. Okay. Very lightly blending it. Very lightly, not too much. Okay. These corners, I want some more color. It totally like, it's just like how I think if you guys know makeup, I think you know that makeup is buildable. Okay. Initially, whenever you apply foundation, you don't apply too much foundation. Okay. You build it up. You see how much foundation you need. That is how the colors are going to be here. Okay. It is totally up to how much color that you need. Don't have to add too much color. Add whenever you need it. Okay. If you feel that it is too much, just remove it. Okay. Understood? See how much difference highlights make to it.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Now we're going to do the legs. Legs ke liye we're going to follow the same, this image. All right. Now with the lighter tone, like the third tone that we have, legs banana bahut easy hai. I'm just going to add some shadows inside like this. Okay, and some outside like this. This part is basically the most difficult. Hands and legs are very easy. See where the shadow is. Same way, we're going to do this layer. Just give me a moment. You know, initially I didn't provide the recordings. The reason was when students get to know that they're going to get recordings, even if they have time, they still prefer to not attend the class. Okay, the students who like miss the classes, and later on when I tell them that I only have recorded sessions available, not the live sessions, some of the students get so disappointed because a lot of people want to have live sessions. The reason is so that they can ask if they have any doubt, if there is something that they're not able to understand. That is why the live classes are important. So if you are able to attend the live classes now, don't miss them. Just because you're getting recordings, the recordings that are going to stay with you, still, when you work with in a live class now, you work with me saath, that way you are going to improve a lot even in the class only, like just in the class. All right. So if you're able to attend the live sessions, do it. Because as I'm not able to upload because it's taking a lot of time to upload the videos right now. So that is why if you miss one class, just because you can, it's going to take a lot of time to actually, because you know in live session you are always there. You're not missing anything. But in recorded sessions, somehow in 10-15 minutes you're going to get bored, and then like you will engage yourself in different activities, and then you won't be able to concentrate properly. All right. Okay. Now a bit darker shade to add some dimension.
Hi, so at what stage do you provide the live recording?
It's going to be on YouTube. All right. Those will be closed YouTube links. All right. I'm going to provide you the links.
Is
I've
that at
already
the end of the course?
Yeah. At the end of the course, actually, I am providing the links of my previous sessions because those are already uploaded on YouTube. So students who are missing the classes, they can actually cop up with the like lag they're going to get during the class. So that is why I'm providing the links of recordings of previous classes, and I will be adding like last two classes and today's class all together tomorrow, and then I will share all three links by tomorrow evening. All right. Because yeah, because on YouTube it takes some time to upload the HD videos, so that is why it's taking time.
No problem.
All right, I'm not adding too much color. just the sides so that it gives nice shadows towards it. All right. All right. So I'm just going to blend it a little bit so that the harsh lines are gone and we have a smooth shadow. Initially, try to replicate the shadows. All right. And I have seen a lot of students just like, keeping the color behind and then they just trace it out. Don't do that. Keep the image in reference and then try to do it. Okay, that way you will be like, you'll learn all these things very quickly. All right. Now I'm going to do the highlighted part. The highlight is mostly going to be in middle. Again, not adding too much highlight, only where I need it. All right. So yeah, now see here, you'll see very little amount of highlights here. So I'm going to replicate that. Okay, see the difference in both the legs. Normally in fashion illustrations, we don't care about like the realistic part of the like skin rendering and all. We only need to know the basics. But the reason is that most of my students, they are not just for fashion illustrations. They want to create realistic portraits and everything. So that is why I have upgraded the course to this part. So that once you know the realistic part of this now, after that, it is very easy to create the fashion illustration. So initially, I was only taking the fashion illustration classes. And I only had course of that only, not this one. Okay, you see the difference? All right.
Yes.
Now we're going to work on the hands. Again, it will take some time and you have to give a lot of time. Okay, whenever I draw faces now, even now, I take around like 1 to 1.5 hours just to draw and render and everything like related to faces. I take so much time to it. Okay, you have to give time to things. Even if you want to create the couple illustrations or family illustrations that I create, you have to give a lot of time, because only time can give you the the quality of work that you actually want in your work. Na? Only time can give you that, nothing else. So you need patience and you need to give time to it. Everything else, it will be done in minutes. And I believe that I possess a quality where I can give like so much time to something while I'm learning it. That is the reason I was able to learn Procreate all by myself, without any classes, without any training from anyone else. I learned from the basics of Procreate, everything from myself. I learned the tools from YouTube and then I did everything myself. The reason was because I gave time to it. I wanted to learn it. I wanted to do something out of it. Like, so that is the reason. If you give time, and it took me like around 1 or 1.5 hour, like half year to like perfect all these things. But then again, if I had someone who could teach me like this, I would have learned it a lot, like, easier. Like, and it wouldn't take me this much time that I took. And funny thing was, like, even before I started the, like, before I was learning it, like, I only bought the iPad. I got the students, students from my previous workshop who had the, iPads, and they were like, "Ma'am, will you teach us?" Even if I didn't know anything about Procreate myself, I learned everything myself first, created a course, and then started teaching. And I feel maybe that was the reason I was able to learn it like quickly, and I could give this much time to it. I used to like work 8 to 10 hours a day. So that is why keep practicing. Don't lose interest on things. Even if you're not able to do it now, that's totally fine. You don't need to be perfect in everything. You just need to keep practicing. That's all. All right. Now the darker shadow. Okay. Now from the darkest shadow, I'm going to give some dimensions. All right. Now highlights the arm area. I made a mistake. I added some shadows on the highlighted part also. No worries. You don't make this mistake. Because the reason is that I always make it on the same layer. So that is why I sometimes forget. But you do it on different layers. All right. Now, if you want to give some like more highlights or anything, you can add it. All right. Now, if you want to give some more highlights, then what you can do is add a different layer. Luminance pay, you have to choose light brush. So you can, wherever you have added highlights now, just adds a little more tone to it. So you can not the whole highlighted part, but just like, the lightest part, the one that shines a little bit. As you might have seen, that models have a little bit highlighted shine on their body. Not adding too much, just a little bit. See how much difference it can make. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So how is the results? Sorry. All right, even if I remove this highlight, I think this also looks fine. But with this, it is adding a lot of shine to it. 3D effect of a body. So let me show you the previous illustrations that I've done, like previous illustrations that I taught in the class. This was one. Okay. And then this is what I taught. And this is something that I did in this workshop. So every time I try to take like try to use a different croquis so that like I have multiple croquis with me for my projects, because somehow I use these croquis for my projects also. So let me just show you like whatever I've done. Here, this was one croquis that I made. Alright. Somehow like whatever croquis that I make in my workshop, I multitask. I use them somewhere. Alright. So creates these kind of multiple croquis. Alright. Different. Alright. Like different poses. And you can use them multiple times. That's the best part about digital illustration, that you can use your work, like previous work, and you can create something new without adding too much effort. All right. So I make this croquis, and then I'm going to add like the face that we're going to make tomorrow now. I'm going to add that face to this croquis, just like here. Okay, this face was made differently. Okay, it was not made with the croquis, it was made on a different dimension, and then I edited and added this face on this illustration. All right, same way, we're going to add on this croquis. Understood? And I feel this part has become. Too highlighted. It's going to make it. Understood. Okay. Everything is understood. Like, hope you guys understood everything. Any doubt? How many of you have tried it with me?
Little bit, ma'am. I also tried it, ma'am, but I'm still very far.
Don't worry.
Only the
Still
neck
in
area,
the
yes.
Whatever you
second
have
step.
done now, share it in the group. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Everybody keep sharing your work in the group so that everybody else is also inspired by your work somehow. All right. I'm going to share this croquis with you guys in the group. Try it out. All right. Practice as much as you can. Okay. Because this is something like we are doing in like 2 hours, and but the practice is going to take like more than 2 hours. Okay. This is something like we did in the class. Now it is your practice, how much time that you give towards your work. That is what it's going to matter. All right. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
All right. Perfect. Also, I wanted to ask, like, I hope you are enjoying the class and I hope you are learning something. Is there anything that you feel that is going above your head, or you feel it's very difficult to understand or something? Okay, anything towards my teaching, or like my teaching style or anything else, do let me know. Okay. Hope you are enjoying the classes. Hope I'm not making you yawn or making you sleep in the class. All right, because like
No, ma'am.
my sleep timing is way before this. Like I somehow sleep at 9 p.m. sometimes. Like, and I was yawning before the class, but when I sat for the class, I was all energetic and everything. So that is how I want you guys to. All right, be energetic in the class. Try to enjoy things. Okay, this is not something like your engineering exams, or you're not learning from the professors. You're learning from someone who also enjoys doing her work. So that is what I want for you guys. Enjoy the work. All right. Also, like if you guys want, you can take videos or some pictures from the classes and upload it on your Instagram page and do tag me. All right. If you're enjoying the classes, if you feel that taking the classes with me are worth it, okay, try to do that.
Sure,
Because
ma'am.
I'm not able to post anything on Instagram, so I feel that it might help me to stay alive on Instagram. because I'm not quite well these days. So like I'm just taking the classes. I'm not taking any work also. Like I'm trying to rest all day to keep myself energetic in the classes. All right, chalo.